What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day today. I just wanted to start off here with a little bit of a update on plans for the next few videos. First off, I do have a video that I am going to get out for running scratch pads on DWM, how to set up the patching to do that and to get scratch pads up and working, or also known as drop-down terminals, whatever you want to call them. And then I also have a video coming out on installing Hyper Window Manager on Ubuntu. Now that being said, it's going to be a bit, I'm still working on those. I need to clean up my test machine so that way I can actually do it all on camera and show you guys as it's running. So thank you for your patience with me on those. Those of you who requested those videos, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I try really hard to make sure I'm reading all my comments and addressing requests and questions that people have. But as excuse me, as the channel grows and more of those come in, it might take me a little bit longer to be able to do that. But I am going to continue to do it as long as it's humanly possible. So just please have patience with me and bear with me. I will get those out. So that being said. Sorry, allergies are kicking my butt today. That being said, I just wanted to get this video out, and I wanted to go over my Herbstluftwm configuration file. And I wanted to kind of address an issue that I've been having with my bar. So, that being said, let's go ahead and open my Herbstluftwm config. So I have a launcher. If I press Mod-Shift-E, I get a list of files that are commonly edited or accessed by me, and Herbstluftwm is right on there, so we're going to just click on that one, and let's go ahead and zoom in. And basically, Herbstluftwm is a really cool, really simple window manager. A lot of people will compare it to like BSPWM or something like that, and it's real similar in the fact that both of them have just a basic shell script for a configuration file. Both of them use a different client to control Windows. BSPWM uses BSPC and Herbstluftwm uses Herbst client, which if we look at the top here, right here, this is the first part of the file. Right here is all this function does is allows you to use HC in place of typing Herbst client for all of your key bindings and stuff like that. So if we come down here, then we have all our auto start stuff. I have PyCom in my wallpaper set. I have this wallpaper commented out because if I want to switch, I can switch to that. I also have a wallpaper changer script I can run that I can switch through wallpapers at random, but for most part I like it to launch to the same wallpaper each time. I launched the Power Manager from XFCE4, MPD and MPDRIS. See, the funny thing with Void Linux is the fact that, like on a systemd system, you can do a system control status and system control enable and all that stuff, and you can enable things as users a lot easier. With Void, it took me a bit to figure this out. I tried to set up services as a user and this and that, and it was just like things just weren't working for me. Some would work, some wouldn't, and it was just becoming kind of a headache. Well, I thought to myself, why can't I just auto start those when I start my window manager? So basically what I have here is I have MPD starting, and I just point it to the configuration file and have it start as no daemon, and then I have MPDRIS2 and have it point to that, which is basically my audio keys, my multimedia keys. Panel.sh is my bar up here. That's a script that will launch my bar at load up when I log into Herbstluftwm. And what it'll do is basically that script just checks to make sure there's not a bar running. If there is, it kills it and then restarts it, so that way you don't have a bar stacked on top of a bar stacked on top of a bar whenever you hit reload config file. Right here I have PA applet, but I have it commented out. Basically all that is the pulse audio, which is the a little icon up here for the audio system, which I have my audio right here, so I don't need it over here too. I was kind of toying around with this because I had things over here that I wanted to add, but I didn't have enough space, otherwise it would take up the whole top, and I like the looks of the nice space in between here, so I've toyed around with putting a few icons over here, having a tray over here, and like my battery and my Wi-Fi, and I had volume, but I just like my volume here. So that being said, I have Network Manager Applet, which is right here, and then I start my GNOME keyring, and then CBAT icon, which is this right here. This little icon up in my corner here that shows me my battery life and gives me my information when I hover over it. It shows it's discharging, how much is there, how much time I have left remaining, all that good stuff. Now, the issue that I'm having that I want to address today with my bar is with that right there. See, basically, what happens if I hit a reload of the configuration file is it launches another battery icon. And so then I'll have two of them up there. And if I do another reload, it'll launch another battery icon. And it will keep launching battery icons until there's 100 of them up there, I bet. Obviously, I don't have enough room for 100, but, you know, it'll just keep launching and launching. It won't kill the one and then launch the other. So I thought what I would do today is focus on kind of getting a function together that will allow me to kind of like my panel. It'll check to see if battery icon's running. If it is, it'll kill it, and then reload it. And if it's not, then it won't reload it. So that being said, watch. If I do a mod control and R, that's going to reload my configuration file, and you can see now that I have two of the battery icons. So if I do mod control R again, you can see I now have three of the battery icons. So you can see where this is kind of a nuisance. So then you can kind of go up here, and I don't believe this one allows you to close it. So no, I can't even click to close it. So what I want to do is, if we create a function that will, let's give us some space here, and we'll just call it bat icon. And then we're going to give it that. Oops, I've got my... And then we'll do that. And what we're going to do is, I want to... Well, first I want to know if it's running. So we are going to create a variable here that's going to be battery. And that will be PID of CBAT icon. So we're going to put this in there, and this is going to just check for the process ID of battery icon. So if it sees it, then it will know it's running. And so then what we're going to do is if, and then we're going to do this, and I guess battery is less than 1, which will tell me that that'll tell me that it's not running. So if it sees less than 1 on the PID of bat icon, then we want to see bat icon, and we want -I, and then we want sys class power supply bat 0. I want that backgrounded, so we can do that. Else, we are going to pkill cbat icon, and then we are going to run the cbat icon -I. And yes, I know I could copy this, but, well, I'm too far into it now. So power supply bat 0, and we're going to background that, and then we need to phi. So let's take a look at this real quick. So we're going to run this function that's going to basically look for the process ID of cbat icon. If it doesn't see it, it's just going to launch cbat icon, or else if it does see it, it's going to kill CBAT icon and then reload it. So we got that. So then we basically need to just run this function there, and let's go ahead and comment that out. Let's write. So you remember we had one battery icon up here, and every time I reloaded my configuration file, it popped another one up without killing the one. So we've just created this function that should alleviate that and only launch one battery icon. So let's go ahead and do a mod control R to reload my configuration file, and we'll see if it loads. No, it's not going to load a battery icon. So let me see here. Let me see what the problem is, if we have something else going on here. So this should be PID of CBAT icon. If we're not supposed to, I don't think that's going to make a difference, but let's just go ahead and retry. No, that didn't do it. So we have if bat, which is the PID of CBAT icon, is less than 1, then CBAT icon I know why. Because if you look right here, I left out the symbolic. It's not. Jeez, Jake. Sometimes we just got to get ahead of ourselves and fail, and then we can look a little harder and pay attention. So now let's write. Now let's see what happens if I do mod control R. And there we go. So now we have 1 up there. So if I do mod control R again, before it would pop another icon up there. Let's see if it does now. Mod control R. Nope, it kills it and then relaunches it. So good. Okay, well, problem solved. So that's pretty cool. Honestly, that's been bugging me for quite a while, and I've just never bothered to actually get into it and take care of it. But hey, I figured, what the heck? Why not go over my file here and do it on camera so we can just kind of see how to handle that. So then in Herbstluftwm right here, this HC key unbind is just a deal to remove all existing key bindings. And then you're going to go back down through and set them all. So I use mod equals mod 1, which is alt. So alt users unite. If you're an alt user, I can't use super. So you can uncomment this here and use super if you want, but for me, I got to use alt. Alt is just a lot more comfortable, and it just is easier to get to. Basically, I have my key bindings here, my system controls. So mod shift C is going to spawn my logout menu. So if I do mod shift C, you can see my logout menu launches. Mod control R will reload the file, just like I showed you when we were testing that battery function I just wrote. Mod shift Q is going to close a window. I won't demonstrate that one because it'll close my window. I guess if I do launch another terminal over here and then just do mod shift Q, you can see it just closes the window. Mod shift return is going to spawn my terminal, which is Kitty, the Kitty terminal emulator. And then mod shift K will also spawn Kitty. Don't ask me why I have 2 of those. Probably because originally when I was using Alacrity, I had Alacrity here and I had Kitty here. That being said, that one can probably just go away. We can probably just do one of these, do a DD, and we'll just erase that. Then let's go ahead and write. So then here I've got my multimedia keys, HC keybind. So again, this HC right at the beginning here saves me from having to write Herbst client every time I do this. So these are just my audio video keys. So I've got Lux, which is going to address my brightness. So my monitor brightness up or down. So again, if I do up and then down, you can see it gets darker and lighter. And then my volume is run through Pactal. And then I have player control for my multimedia keys when I do my, so if I launch my music, that's going to be my mail. I don't want to launch that one. So if I do my music and go to my NCMP here, I can use my multimedia keys to control that. So that's easy. Except for stop, because for some reason I don't have a multimedia key for stop, so I just use mod control S for stop. BGD, that is my background, my wallpaper changer. So if we go over to a different workspace, and you can see mod W is going to spawn BGD. So we're on this, and if I do mod W, you can see it changes my wallpaper for me. And then mod control Y is a kind of I guess a narcissistic script here that just shows me my how many YouTube subscriptions I have, which is right up in here. Which, by the way, thank you all very much. You know, I honestly, I've said this before, I never thought I would even reach 100 subscribers and 50 subscribers even. I'm just completely blown away. I didn't even start this channel to gain subscribers. I started it for a place to kind of store the stuff I was doing, and then I could access it easier and have videos to remind myself. But I just thought, what the heck, we'll make them all public. And people started watching and subscribing, and I was blown away. So again, thank you very much. If you've subscribed and you watch my videos, you don't believe how immensely appreciative I am. So and then right here I have mod control C and mod control T. These are two scripts I created videos on to change the theme on the fly, so I can change my Herbstluftwm configuration file on the fly and change my theme on the fly with either one of these scripts. One of them does it locally, and one of them does it from repositories. It'll pull files and push files from repositories, and the other one will just rotate through some files on my system. So did those. I'm not going to go through that right now. There's a video on them if you want to check them out. If you want to check it out. I have mod shift T, which launches my to-do app. I've also got videos on that as well. So if I was to go over here and hit mod shift T, you can see it launches my to-do app. I can add or view. Different things that I have on my schedule. Sorry, I just had a brain fart there. And then I have mod shift W, which is going to launch my windows, which tells me what's on my different windows. So if I do mod shift W, that's going to show this here that shows I have Vim open in one, I have the Windows script open in one, and then I have Simple Screen Recorder recording my screen in the other. I have Rofi. Mod Shift R is going to launch Rofi, which I don't use very often. Mod Control E will launch Rofi Emoji, which if I do Mod Control E, you can see I get some nice emojis here that I can copy and paste to whatever I'm doing. I have Mod Shift V, which will launch my virtual machine launcher. So all I got to do is pick which virtual machine I want, and I can launch that virtual machine right from there. VSP2, if I do mod shift I, that's going to install my void source packages, so I can go through the void source package repository and find something and then just click on it and install it. Mod shift D is my DMenu replacement using FZF, so mod shift D is basically like my version of DMenu using FZF. It's my program launcher. And then I showed you mod shift E to launch into this. It's some different config files I edit frequently. My key bindings for like Brave browser, Firefox, and Nix, the three web browsers I use most often. I have my print key. My print screen key is going to do screenshots for me. I do screenshots. I have to do screenshots all the time for school. Mod return is going to launch a scratch pad, so mod return launches scratch pad. Mod Q is going to launch Qt browser. Mod control return is going to launch Scratchpad as well. So mod control return launches my other Herbstluftwm style Scratchpad that drops down. I have mail, music, and I have calculator. So mod control C is going to launch my calculator for me. Then I can focus down, left, up, and right to the different windows. I can move the different windows. Mod U and mod O is going to split. It's going to give me a 60% split either on the bottom or on the right. Mod control space is going to explode the split. I can resize with mod control left, down, up, and right. These are just my tag names. So up here, 1 through 9. So when I want to press mod shift 1 or mod shift 2 or mod 2 or whatever, it'll go to the different tag or send stuff to the different tag. So I have a couple scripts here that will allow me to create and load new layouts. I can toggle full screen, toggle floating, toggle pseudo tile. HC keybind mod space is going to cycle through. the different layouts I have. Backspace is going to cycle through monitors, which I only have one monitor, so that doesn't do me any good. Mod tab and mod shift tab are going to cycle through. Mod C is going to cycle through. Mod I is going to jump to my urgent, which I don't ever have urgent. Then we got the mouse buttons. Now here's kind of what I wanted to show you a bit over too. I have my theming here, which is just my color schemes and stuff. And one thing I really like about Herbstluft is the fact that I can really get creative with my window border theme on this. Because it gives you the option of an inner border and an outer border. So if I launch a floating window here, excuse me, you can see that I have an inner border that's really thin, that's white, and then the outer border that's orange. So any floating window has those colors. And so if we go out of that and then we go ahead and launch again, you can see that. But if I launch another window, my normal windows that are not floating have a blue and white border. So I just like the fact that I can have that additional color for my floating windows and have two colors for each of them. And you can change the width of each of these. You can have the inner border wider than the outer border, or vice versa. And it's just really cool that you can take these and just really kind of customize the way these windows look. And it's really cool. I'm really a big fan of that. Just another reason I love Herbstluft so much. You can add your gapping, your padding, smart window surroundings, and smart frame surroundings. That basically means if I only have one window open, I don't have any gaps and I don't have any borders. Whereas then when I open another window, you can see now suddenly I have gaps and I have borders on my windows. So I just like the fact that when I only have one window open, it's basically the full screen. I don't have any gaps I have to worry about or anything like that. So, and then down here we have the rules for our scratch pads and our floating windows, like launch.sh, my DMenu replacement, basically is float placement center, float geometry. You can change the size of the window here, and you can put smart floating or center or whatever, and it'll either put it centered in the window or up in the left or whatever. So whatever you put float placement as, I just have them all centered. Then I have so that's my DMenu, my VSP2, which is my void source package installer, my configs, that one that allows me to launch my config files, to edit them in Vim, the windows, the logout, and the vMachine. My scratch pads are my normal scratch pad, my file manager. So if I hit, I think it's mod shift R, nope, mod R, mod control R, no, I forget which. I have my file manager set up on there somehow, and I just can't think of it right now. I don't go into my file manager very often. But Qt Browser is another one, mail, music, and calculators. Those are all my scratch pads that I have at the moment. I am a scratch pad addict, so I guarantee you there will be more added on eventually. So HC rule focus on normally focuses new clients, so when you launch a new window, it automatically sends focus to that window or to that client. Float placement is centered. And then we have some window rules here. Window type floating, float placement center. HC window type rule window type, focus on float placement smart. And then that's for like dialog boxes, utility splash, docs and everything. This is managed off for those types. And then down here we have it find in the panel. So that being said, that's about it for my Herbstluft configuration. It looks a little different now than it did when I created my install script for installing my system on yours, and I think I might update my Herbstluft configuration file on there and maybe either add this one so you can make a choice of which one you want, or maybe just replace it with this one. I don't know. But that being said, I just wanted to go through that and just kind of go over my kind of workflow on my Herbstluft and how I have mine set up. And yeah, just kind of share that with you. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got a little bit of use out of it, maybe learned something. And as always, as with everything else, this is I have to push it because I've done some updates, but it will be pushed to my Gitlab and my Github. So if you're interested, you can always find it there and take it and do what you wish. So that being said, I hope you have a great day, a great rest of your week, and God bless.